Hi everyone. Sorry I couldn't be with you tonight. I've had some medical issues that I think turned out okay. It was some plastic surgery. My wife's happy with it, and it helps to be serious when you have like this. Now, very nice. No, seriously, hard to be serious with a rubber nose on. I would like to be with you guys tonight. It's been such a pleasure to get to know you guys. I just read a thing not long ago that Pope Francis talked about. We're a canoe. And the old people are standing in front of the canoe, looking at the stars, trying to tell where to go. But you, the young people, are the rowers. I thought that was a beautiful analogy. So let the old stargazer talk to the rowers for a moment. I'll just give you a brief history of my life, kind of tell you how the Holy Spirit affected me. I grew up in a small town in northeast Missouri, a town of about 1,000 people. My grandfather and his brother one of them had 10 boys and 2 girls, and the other one had 9 boys and 2 girls. So there were 19 Beeler boys in a town of 1,000 people. And this was 100 years ago, back in the 20s, 1920s, 30s. So most of them stayed around, and so there were Beelers everywhere. It was a idyllic situation. We had car dealerships and grocery stores and drug stores and clothing stores, and it was just idyllic in a very small world. Parents weren't overly religious. They went to church. Baptists, raised a Baptist. My grandparents were solid gold, Holy Spirit. Anyway, I graduated from high school when I was just barely 17. Went to a broadcasting school in Memphis, Tennessee. Television broadcasting turned out to be my career. I started out at a very small television station in Ottumwa, Iowa, at the ripe old age of 17. I was a cameraman and a floor director, and then I became a director. Directed news on the air. The director is the one that tells everybody what to do and what camera to be on and when to open mics and all that stuff. From there, I went to Peoria, Illinois, and I got into directing basketball. Bradley University basketball, Illinois State University basketball, which was in Normal, Illinois. I just loved every second of it. From there, I moved to Eugene, Oregon, and directed a University of Oregon basketball, football, track and field. And that was way before Nike, so they sucked at just about every sport except track and field. I always have to preface that because they're so good athletically now. It would have been fun to be there. Anyway, loved it. Loved live sports, drank all the time. The whole broadcasting career was drinking. Everybody drank. We had coolers in the bus when we did basketball games. We drank not heavily before, well, sometimes, but heavily after. Everybody drank. All my bosses had booze in their desks. It was just a culture, and we all smoked. So anyway, in 1979, I got a call from a friend who was a producer, and he said, "Chris, you have to move out here to the East Coast, to Bristol, Connecticut. There's a new network starting up, and they're doing all sports." And I was like, and I checked them out, and they were doing like table tennis, women's water polo, stuff like that. And I was like, Mike, there is no way that I'm going to interrupt my career to do house sports. Of course, ESPN turned out to be ESPN. To give myself a little credit, back then there were only like, I think 12, maybe 15 cable networks, and of course today there's over 500 cable networks. Drank heavily, bad drinking problems. I got divorced because I only cared about myself. Had a son. My wife moved back to the Midwest, so I had to move back to the Midwest. I had to go to work at a little TV station in Kirksville, Missouri, which broke my heart, but God had a plan. I've met my 3-in-1, my soulmate, my best friend, and my love of my life, Kathy. Some of you know her. Anyway, still drinking very bad. Had some real problems. Came to Omaha, went to work for the Fox station here. The company that I worked for expanded greatly. I became the corporate creative director, which is producing and writing and overseeing the promotion of about 14 or 15 TV stations, traveling all over Toronto, Atlanta all the time, all over the United States, Mexico City. And then Kathy started working nights and I became a full-blown alcoholic. Hiding. I wasn't any better than a bum in an alley somewhere. Hiding it, sneaking money, lying, just horrible alcoholic. And I had no answers. AA is a wonderful program. It didn't work for me. It helped. I went to a treatment, outpatient treatment thing for 3 nights a week. And I decided to join the Catholic Church. Kathy had went there for comfort because of my issues. And I went to a 9-month RCIA course, which some of you know is an introduction to the Catholic faith to adults. I questioned what was going on. I thought I knew I was on the right path, but I really just couldn't get over the hump. So I started going to Mass every day. The Holy Spirit just kept guiding me. I'm a slow learner, I guess. But the Holy Spirit and trusting in God, believing in Jesus, giving Him everything, finally sunk in. And I just want to tell you guys, sorry. I've lived a life without Jesus. I've lived a life with Jesus. Jesus is the real deal. Don't ever give up. You're going to have some rough roads. You're going to have some dirt roads. But if you put your life in His hands, I promise you, your life will be a lot better. Don't forget to pray. You have to pray. I'll give you a really quick example here. I had a cousin when I went to high school, girl, who was like a sister. I could tell her anything. We talked all the time. We graduated from high school and went our separate ways. We talked a little bit every now and then, but we lost touch with each other. And that's kind of what happens if you don't pray. You'll lose touch with God. Pray to God. Pray as much as you can. He's always there for you. And one of my favorite ways to pray, and again, I'll try to be quick here, to listen to God. You don't have to talk all the time. Get someplace where it's complete silence and just listen. Pope Francis said, when they asked Jesus about the commandments, his is, "Hear, O Israel, you shall love your God with all your heart." He didn't say, "Talk, O Israel." So, silent prayer is a beautiful thing, and it's not easy to do. And pray however you want. Rosary, however you want. Just make sure that you pray. Hey, thank you guys. I hope I see you soon. I'm not there because I have COVID, but you're probably lucky that I'm not there because I like to lick everyone.